Tired of sounding like a translating robot when you speak Spanish? Want your sentences to actually flow? Here are 30 secret bridge words to make you sound like a native instantly.
Have you ever wondered why some beginners just sound incredibly fluent, even if they only know a handful of words, while others who have this massive vocabulary still sound kind of choppy and robotic? It almost always comes down to the spaces between their main ideas. You see, the robotic speaker, they just stop completely at the end of every single sentence. But the fluent beginner, they bridge those gaps. They seamlessly connect their thoughts. So, to fix this for ourselves, we first need to understand what a connector actually is. Think of your nouns and verbs as the bricks of your Spanish vocabulary. They're solid, they're absolutely necessary. But if you just stack them on top of each other, they're going to easily fall apart. A connector is the linguistic mortar. It's the glue holding those thoughts together, organizing your sentences logically so you actually achieve a true conversational flow. Without the glue, you really just have a pile of bricks. To make this incredibly practical for you as a new learner, we've organized these 30 connectors into 5 functional categories. 1. The secret to native fluency. 2. Adding info and alternatives. 3. Contrasting ideas and exceptions. 4. Cause, effect, and purpose. And 5. Timing and summarizing. Let's jump right into category 1.
Section 1. The secret to native fluency.
So as a new learner, you obviously have to establish those foundational building blocks. But to sound natural, we really have to move past the absolute basics. Like every beginner knows the most basic conjunctions, right? You know, o, meaning or. It's a great word, but if o is literally the only connector you use, your sentences are going to stay very simple, very binary. True fluency isn't just about knowing lots of words. It's about intentionally linking your ideas using a much wider arsenal of connectors. Moving way beyond just o is what unlocks structured, continuous conversation. Moving on to section 2, adding info and alternatives. Now, what's really interesting about these specific words is how they progressively add more dramatic weight to your sentences. As a beginner, mastering this progression is a real game changer. You start with también, meaning also. Standard, super reliable. But then you want to build on a point, so you use además, which is like besides or furthermore. And when you really want to emphasize something surprising, you drop in incluso, meaning even or including. See? You're not just stacking facts anymore. You're building a compelling argument. And when you're adding all this information, you're gonna need alternatives just to keep the rhythm going. You can use tal como to give examples, meaning such as, or you can use ni for nor or neither when you're chaining negative thoughts together. Si is your standard yes or if to confirm things, but honestly, my absolute favorite for new learners is pues, meaning well or then. Slipping in a pues while you're kind of searching for your next word, it gives you that incredibly authentic, native-sounding hesitation. It literally buys you processing time without awkwardly breaking the conversation.
All right. Section 3. Contrasting ideas and exceptions.
Okay, so basic contrast words are usually what every beginner learns first, right? Things like pero for but and aunque for although. And hey, they totally get the job done. But let's look at the advanced options. If you swap out pero for sin embargo, meaning however, or aunque for no obstante, meaning nevertheless, you instantly elevate your speaking style. Suddenly, you sound measured, thoughtful, and incredibly fluent. It's a simple one-to-one swap that completely changes how native speakers perceive your language level. No joke. So the crucial point here is that these specific words help you navigate exceptions gracefully. Just imagine someone gives you a reason why you can't do something. You can just counter with a pesar de, meaning despite, or say you'll do it de todas formas. Anyway, or maybe you want to emphasize that a condition persists with aún, meaning still or even. These words are fantastic because they allow you to push conversations forward even when there's a clear contradiction in the story you're telling. Which brings us to section 4, cause, effect, and purpose. Here is how you gracefully guide your listener through cause and effect. Por lo tanto means therefore, and it gives a very logical, conclusive result. If someone asks for your motivation, you might hear para qué, meaning what for. But the absolute staple here, the one you literally must know as a new learner, is así que, meaning so. Like, it was raining, así que we stayed inside. Or, I was hungry, así que I ate. It is the most natural, everyday storytelling bridge you can possibly use in native Spanish. And look, we really can't talk about cause and purpose without untangling the classic por versus para dynamic. New learners always stress over this. But as connectors, just remember their basic function. Por indicates the cause or the reason behind something, while para points forward to the purpose or destination. Oh, and a fantastic conversational tool using para is simply stating para mí, meaning for me. It's just a perfect, gentle way to introduce your personal views into a discussion.
Finally, let's hit section 5, timing and summarizing.
And this brilliantly illustrates how you can sequence an entire story chronologically just by using 3 powerful time markers. You kick off the action with tan pronto como, as soon as. Then you describe the background action happening simultaneously with mientras tanto, meanwhile. And finally, you bring that action to its limit with hasta, meaning until. Using just these 3 connectors gives your listener a perfect temporal map of your entire story. To add even more detail, you're going to need precision. Using todavía, meaning still, highlights that an action is ongoing. Saying en ese points to a very specific moment or case in time. And when you want to really drill down and focus the listener's attention, you use en concreto, specifically. These connectors pinpoint exact details, which makes you sound incredibly precise and just entirely in control of the narrative.
All right, so you've added your info, you've contrasted ideas, you've explained the cause, and mapped out the timing. Now, you need to land the plane. You wrap up your complex thoughts naturally with en pocas palabras, literally in few words, or as we usually say in English, in short. It is the perfect summarizing connector. It completely signals to your listener that you are wrapping up your point, exactly like a true native speaker would.
So, we've looked at all this mortar that builds fluent Spanish. My challenge to you as a new learner is this. Which of these advanced connectors are you going to choose to use as your glue in your very next Spanish conversation? Seriously, don't try to memorize all 30 at once. Just pick one new phrase. Maybe swap out a pero for a sin embargo, or try throwing in a de todas formas next time you hit a roadblock. Test it out, feel your conversational flow improve, and just keep building that fluency.
Did these bridge words make your Spanish click? Drop a like and hit subscribe to keep the fluency flowing. And share this with a friend who needs to stop sounding like a robot. See you next time. Hasta luego!